Hey, it's Eric G. Around the House is sponsored by Baldwin Hardware. For 75 years, Baldwin Hardware has been known for its first-class quality and craftsmanship in door and cabinetry hardware. As an alumnus of the Baldwin Hardware Design Council, I can say I have seen the details and quality from design to the finished product. If you're looking for a new style and old-world craftsmanship, I can tell you there is only one Baldwin Hardware. Check out what would look great in your home at baldwinhardware.com.
Get you on the radio, yeah, you gotta get on the radio. It doesn't take a long time to know.
You gotta get on the radio. Welcome back to Around the House with Eric G. I'm Eric G.
I'm Dane Vaughter.
We got some fun stuff coming up ahead. I'm actually trying to put together right now a show, and this is hour number 2, by the way. Thanks for joining us, of this Saturday podcast special, actually. Before I get too far on that, let's talk about the details here. This is our last show of this format. And we're working from the home studio here. Dogs are running in. This is life, you know. This is how this stuff works. Producers going over and closing the door because the dog just opened the door. You know, welcome to how this works in the home studio.
Right.
Anyway, so we're doing the podcast special today, but I've got a little thing that I'm going to tease out a little bit right now that I'm going to try to shoot this next week. So I might be doing a door install for Morgan Day, Oregon, interior door, with Nick Miles.
Oh, that'd be cool.
At his house. So,
just an interior, what kind of interior door?
just a 6-panel door like you see here in my house.
Just a
one of
normal.
those, just normal interior door, but he was asking about putting one in. I'm like, let's do a TV segment with that. And he's like, let's do it. So we got to work out some details, but that might be coming soon to Morgan Day, Oregon. We're going to have some fun with
That'd
that
be a
one.
good segment.
Yeah. Car guy working with a tool home improvement guy and a car guy, so it'll be great. So anyway, we wanted to talk a little bit at this hour about some other spring stuff. Tease ahead, next weekend will be the new program, which you'll hear about here in another hour or two, but 2 p.m. Pacific, around time, you'll hear it then. But here's the thing. We're going to do the spring checklist because we did our fall checklist. It seems like just yesterday.
Yeah, it seems a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but we're going to do the spring checklist, so you got that list. And then, of course, we'll have it where you can put it up online and that kind of stuff so you can grab that so you can work on it yourself. But one of the things that I wanted to say it's time to do out there is to remove those foundation plugs and check those screens. So if you look around if you got a crawl space down below, you've got those plugs that block it up for, keep you from getting it frozen down there and everything else. For us here in the west side of the mountains, not happening anymore. You're good. Take them out. I want to see that airflow through there. 1, it's good to keep the airflow going so it'll dry out. 2, if you've got radon coming up through there, I'd like to see it get out of there. So let's give it an even way, not be trapped. And that air that's underneath there is going straight up into your house, whether you like it or not. So might as well have it be a little bit cleaner air and fresher air than what's down there. The last thing I want to do is see mold and stuff coming through there. So these are good things to do down there. So open those up and make sure, put those plugs away. You're going to need them next year. You can even go through and mark them if you're worried about it. You just bought the house, don't know where they are. Mark, which side you're coming through. Even if you just mark them where you start. Say, okay, I'm going to start by the garage and work my way around. Number them.
That's all you need. From there or something.
Yeah,
like
whatever it is. Just go for it. So that's another one. Now, one of the bigger projects can be, especially since we had kind of a rough February around here, is starting up that sprinkler system.
Yeah.
If you've got that landscaping sprinkler system, this is one of those things that you got to be a little bit careful because a lot of people here on the west sides don't blow out their sprinklers like you do if you're living on the east side. Because if you don't, if you live in Bend, Tri-Cities, man, you've got a blown-up sprinkler disaster. Most people in Portland don't. That's okay until we have one of these 20-degree weeks that we get.
And all
Every
the lines
few years,
freeze up.
everything's a hot mess, and you're replacing a ton of stuff. So it only takes you to replace a couple $100 of the stuff once that you go, might want to be careful next year. So go through, make sure that you get that really dialed in. Here's what I do. make sure you turn the water onto the sprinkler system, walk around, look for leaks.
Okay.
Check your valves, go through and make sure your automatic sprinkler valves are good. Open up that, if it's buried underground and there's a cover, lift that up, look through all that. And between there, if you don't have any sprinklers running, that's the only place that's going to be leaking at this point because you haven't turned on one of the sprinkler valves yet. So if you can go through, just check between the shutoff valve and the sprinkler valves, make sure those things are operating. Next step I would do is go through after that and start cycling the stations that you're going to work. So station number 1, maybe that's the front yard, for instance. Go through and run that for about 10 or 15 minutes. What would I do? I'm going to stand out front or wherever that cycle is, and I'm going to look and make sure that everything is working exactly how it is. If you need to have a screwdriver to adjust a sprinkler, have it with you. Make sure that thing is landing exactly on the sidewalk, exactly on the property line, not hitting the house, all those different things. Make sure you get that perfectly dialed in. If you can get that adjusted, great. Then what I want you to look for is pooling water and running water. Because if you've got a broken line that maybe froze in a weird spot, maybe it's a little closer to the, maybe it was in the shade, whatever, make sure that you look for that because it's going to kind of bubble up through the ground and look like you've got just a bunch of water coming from someplace.
Looks like a lake is forming in the
Yeah,
middle
you got
of
a
your
little
yard.
lake that's kind of bubbling up like a spring. That's a problem. After you've got that, I would run back around the house and follow where that sprinkler line is to make sure you don't have any place between the valve and the front yard. So if your valve's in the backyard with all your stuff, make sure that you don't have any breaks through there. And if you've got a small one, it might take a couple weeks. So I want you to do this procedure through all of them. And then I want you to wait a week after you've run the sprinklers and do it again. Make sure you're good. So that way you've got that going. Now, if you're in eastern Washington or a place that you're pulling water out of the irrigation, back up. Before you do this, I want to see you pull the filters out because that is just a canal where we're pulling out of water out of the canal. I want you to pull that apart. I want you to make sure all the seals and stuff on it are good and clean that basket out 100% and get that all cleaned up. That filter that's in there on those types of systems is what keeps everything from plugging up. And if you get junk down there and it starts plugging up, you got a hot mess. And nobody wants to be going around trying to unplug sprinkler heads that have
That's a headache.
weeds, you got tadpoles, you got everything jammed up in there. It could be anything. Whatever's floating in that dirty pond water is coming up through there. So that filter's key. Make sure you got that. So that's another one. Now, once you get to going through that, go through all those systems and do it, then make sure that it's adjusted correctly, that the time's right, that you got the, take a look. Maybe you've had bushes grow up over the winter time here, or maybe you just didn't catch it last year. Make sure things are hitting the plants correctly, and then if you've got to do any landscape maintenance and trimming and moving stuff, that you've got it dealt with.
Now's the perfect time to get out there and get that taken care of.
It is. It's good weather. It's all good for that. So here's where I start saving money. Especially when you're talking with sprinkler timers. And people go, it's just a sprinkler timer. Who cares? You're right. It is just a sprinkler timer. I went and got that Ratio brand sprinkler timer, and I'm on season 3 now. Dear God, I love that thing.
I was gonna say, yeah. Every year, we off air. It doesn't matter
Yep.
if we're not talking in the show. We talk about that sprinkler system.
See, I pay for water, just drinking water, so it comes out of my water bill. We don't have irrigation here. I pay from a large municipality here, big water system. Mm-hmm. You'd think with all the rain we get in Portland that water'd be cheap.
Yep.
Nope.
You'd think.
You'd think. That's not the case. So, little soapbox action here. You'd think that would be inexpensive. Not at all. Problem is I got to water my lawn with that. And to water my lawn with that takes a pretty decent sprinkler controller that's going to be smart. So I have one of the new smart ones. It's not the latest and greatest from them, so if you go out and buy a new one, you're even going to have more stuff in it. But the one I've got, which is, like I said, coming up 3 years old, it will sit there, and like today where it's pouring outside,
It knows.
it knows. It's not going to run the sprinklers. It's going to go, hey, we expect 1/4 inch or more today for rain. Not going to run.
Take the day off.
Yep. Sorry, we're phoning it in. You're saving some money. It will do that. It'll also do the same. Go, hey, it's going to be 105 today. We're going to run the sprinklers a little bit different because it's too hot. We're going to make sure everything's good. I love that. You get the latest generation is what you get in the stores out there. You can install in line of your water, have a plumber come out and do it. If you're a super DIY person, knock it out. You can put this sensor in the line of your main water coming to the house. If you have a leak, it knows it.
Oh, wow.
So if you've got a water main leak, beyond the water main there, it's on your property. If you put that in out there, it talks to the sprinkler timer, goes, hey, wait a minute, man, you got a lot of water running. You okay? It will warn you. And I love that. So you're not going to get that thousands of dollars a bill of a leak. It's going to sit there and go, man, you got a lot of water running all the time. We got a problem. And those are great things to have because, one, it saves you money. Two, it's going to call out the problem way before you know it's even happening.
Before you would even see it happen.
Oh, yeah. It's calling it out. So that's what's really cool. And when the kids are out playing in the yard, I can turn the sprinklers on and nobody sees me do it off my phone.
I recall you doing that last summer.
Yeah, I did that to Julie and the kids. Yeah, and it was hot. They were out there. I waited until they were about 4 steps away from coming up on the deck, fired off that sprinkler timer for that thing, and, man, they almost got wet, but I was right behind. I had it timed out correctly. But that's what we did. So,
if it were me, I would have got them wet. It's hot in summertime. They probably needed it.
It is. It's clean water, so it's good. These are things that save you money. So this is the thing that you can go buy the cheapy $49 one, but if you spend a little bit more, now you can make sure it's running. If you go, man, that side yard's getting bad, I'm going to run another quick cycle on that, or you just ran some fertilizer you want to wash in, you can do all that stuff from the tip of your phone, which is really, really awesome.
It might cost you more up front, but it'll save you in the long run.
Oh, man, it paid for itself the first year. First year paid for itself. So, especially at my water rate. So that was cool. So, anyway, that's a little bit on sprinklers, for this weekend here. Wanted to touch on that before we go to the next subject, which is one of my favorite. Car cleanup.
Going from the yard into the garage.
Yeah, we're going to go into the garage for a few minutes here because it's one of those things that, I've always done it as a Saturday morning tradition. And I'm getting back to it now that my schedule's changed a little bit. Of just spending an hour in the morning getting the car detailed out. Vacuum it out, clean it up. If it's wintertime, getting the road salts and grime off of it. Polishing out scratches, dings, all those things. Checking fluids.
A little TLC for the car.
Man, a little TLC goes a long way. Especially if you are a commuter and you've got a rapid schedule during the week. The French fry that fell down in between the seat, the coffee lid that's in the back floor. It feels so good to get those things dialed in. So that's my normal maintenance time. And it lets me go around the car and check for lights, check all those things.
Safety
Stuff, checking tires, all of those things. So spend some time getting it dialed in. And you know something? If you love your car, I don't care if it's 2 years old, 10 years old, 50, or 100 years old. I don't care what it is. Spend some time throwing some wax on that thing. Yeah, okay, so you're going through the Zipid car wash, going through and spending your $5 or $10 or whatever, even $20 if you're going on one of the more expensive ones. Yeah, they blow some wax on it, but I'll be honest, that wax is there for them to dry it off.
Yeah.
Makes the water come off easier. They don't have to pay for water. The wax goes on there, and it looks okay. Seriously, get out the Mother's or McGuire's Carnauba wax, get a clay bar, go over the top of the thing, get all the junk off it. Give it a nice, solid wax job. Even if you do that once a year, it's going to look so much better. And there's a lot of protective qualities to it, too. So it's going to make your car look good. That way you got the pimp and ride.
It's honestly never something I've never done before.
Yeah.
So I might have to look into that.
I don't care if you're driving some old, whatever. Just take care of it. It's going to last longer. You're going to feel better about it. It's all good with that. And I tell you what, even I'll cheat sometimes. I'll run through the car wash real quick and give it the quick once-over with that, then get home and then detail clean it.
Yeah.
Especially if it's super dirty. Those guys are great. And what I always recommend, too, is to make sure you get the one that's got pay for the wash that's got the underneath sprayers, so at least it'll go through and get the road salts and grime off the bottom. That's going to save you some time because if you've got that, it gets all that stuff cleaned up. I want to get, especially when they're using more salts and stuff on the roads now.
Especially on the east side and everything, where they're laying on all sorts of road salts through the winter.
Yeah, all that stuff. Just get it cleaned up, get that dialed in, and you're going to be better off. Get the carpets cleaned up. If you need new floor mats, get them. And then spend some time and understand your vehicle. Check those fluids. Make sure it's all good, especially if you're getting ready for a road trip. Get that stuff dialed in. And then more importantly, work a lot more on the you just kind of work on the tires and make sure they're good. There's so many things with tires you got to be careful with, and especially on road trip stuff like that. If you're going on a road trip, just Les Schwab's not a sponsor. Go over there, have them air them up, make sure everything's good, spend a few minutes, have them check it out. That's who I go deal with. Works out pretty well.
I'm biting my tongue a little bit.
Okay.
The only issue I've ever had with Les Schwab was that they said that my tire didn't have enough tread, and they literally were not going to let me leave their lot unless I got a new tire.
Yep.
I'm like, well, I can go get a new tire. I don't need to buy it from you, but they,
Yeah, but here's the thing.
It's a liability thing.
It's a liability thing because they let you go out the door with it.
I shouldn't be forced into buying something.
Yeah,
from
but I had
somebody.
the same thing problem. I had a big problem. I had, you'll love this one. So I had with the Mercedes out in the garage.
Yeah.
So the tires that were on it when I bought it, and I drove it home from Eugene with it, were made in 1989.
Okay, those are a little old. That's
A lot old.
The year I was born.
Yes. So they looked good. Were they old as dirt for tires? Yeah. 7 years on a tire is kind of done. So that's when they were done. So they had a lot of great tread on them. Made it home. I was over there at the tire station guys. Not tire station. I was over there at Discount Tire.
Yeah.
So here's what happened. This was my disaster here, and I'm not ripping on anybody, but it was my tire disaster. So I bought newer Mercedes wheels to put them on there.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to upgrade the wheels. The wheels were the original ones were composite metal, magnesium, whatever, and they were just coming apart. They had not been treated well. So I got some new wheels. I'm going to put new tires on it.
Yep.
Great. Didn't think that maybe that since it's a Mercedes that there's a bolt and a nut is how the wheels go on. It's not your stud with the nut on it.
Okay.
So it's a bolt head and a nut. Didn't think that these were a different distance of length. So I had a different length. They couldn't come up with ones. So
that's the problem if you can't get that snug. Like, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, because if it goes too far through, it'll rip the brakes up. So you got to have the right distance.
Okay.
So they're like, yeah, we got some order. It's going to take a day or two. Sorry, I'm not leaving your car here for a day or two because we can't let you leave. I already called. You said it was going to fit. Wasn't going to be a problem. Nobody looked it up. Now it's a problem.
And now you're saying
Yeah.
Grr.
So what did I do? I had to drive over to Les Schwab, buy the bolts that they had on the shelf, drive back over to Discount Tire and give them the bolts so they could put the wheels on.
So were you allowed to drive the Mercedes?
No, I had to take another car over there.
Yeah.
Even worse.
I see, and I get it. I do, but it's just so annoying to me that if I'm going to go somewhere and say just to do a road trip checkup at Les Schwab or something, because they do those, and it's great, and I love it, and that's awesome that they offer that.
Yeah.
But to then turn around and go, we can't let you drive off the lot. I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, right? It's
Yeah.
like, aren't...
Trust me, I've gone down this battle before, and it's a tire store thing versus a Les Schwab thing. Yeah, it happened at the other one.
Absolutely.
So
No, I know.
I hate it. But anyway, long story short, make sure you look for the wear. Make sure all those little things you can catch. If you do this every week, you can catch the little things going wrong before they leave you hanging. And those are the deals. And just here's the other thing too: a little maintenance goes a long way. I posted up this last week here, kind of a shady deal that happened with a local lube shop.
I was about to bring that up.
Yep. I get it. I don't care what business you're in. There are some yahoos out there that do a really horrible job, and there's bad examples. So I don't want to rip on them as a brand, but if you get to know your vehicle and understand it, man, you're going to save yourself so many headaches. Because you just get to be it gets to be such a hot mess if you don't. And then people start you develop that relationship. I like going to smaller places. Right now I'm actually taking my car to the dealer because I got a good deal on oil changes there. And that way I'm going to pay an extra couple $100 every time I go in there to make sure they inspect everything. It's just worth it. And I don't want to get left hanging out there anywhere. And maybe if you do, and you're just going to run for it and go, okay, well, when it breaks, then get AAA or insurance. When you have your insurance, pay for that protection plan so you can get towed. That's a big one. I can't say how many people I know that, car broke down again, got towed again. I'm like, dude, that's like 3 or 4 times. When are you going to get a insurance or AAA for that? Well, I should.
You should have.
You should have because you're blowing money. So, again, those are things to really be careful with the automotive stuff.
Well, and one thing that I did see you mention on that Facebook post is that you come home when you go and get your car serviced or get an oil change at a place that isn't a dealer, you take the time when you get home to double check everything.
I double check and I make sure the oil's where it is because otherwise you don't know. So if they got in a hurry and they sent you out a quart low, and then 2 or 3 weeks later you're checking the oil and you see your quart low, you're like, oh, did I burn up a quart? Where'd that quart go? Was it there to begin with?
Right.
So make some notes on this stuff, especially if you're having car issues. Make sure you know what's going on. Make some notes. Oh, oil's filled this day. Especially if you're writing it down in a little notebook. Just jot it down. Have some notes. It's going to be okay. But car repairs are expensive. But the better you take care of that car, the more likely you're going to get a little more life out of it, as well as keeping it clean.
And lower the headaches on you.
Oh, yeah. Especially if you're going to go store it, let's do some things like that. If you're going to go store it for a while around here and it's going to be outside, clean the interior like you're going to have surgery. Because the more you can get that interior clean, the less chance you're going to have of this mold forest growing up on the inside. I don't know about you guys, but I have seen cars that were fairly dirty on the inside and spent 6 months closed up and nobody opened it up. It had green fur everywhere. Like, tow the car, it's done. Not messing with it.
Oh, I can't imagine maybe just like sitting down and or somebody who just wasn't paying attention. They sit down in that or something.
Oh, you wouldn't even get inside it. It was just a moldy mess. So again, you don't want to cause those things to happen. You just don't want to cause those things to happen. So, hey guys, I want to talk a little bit more about, now that we've talked about that, I want to talk a little bit more of the birthday stuff we were talking about. Yeah. There's been a lot of great events that have happened through the life of Around the House and Around the House with Handyman Bob and Eric G. and all those kind of things, from the guests we've had. This last year, I loved having Kevin O'Connor on.
Yep.
That was great. We've had Carolyn on, our healthy home expert. All of these people I plan to bring back in 2019 again. I was actually on a podcast with, it was a live thing that Carolyn was doing last night on her Facebook.
Oh.
And so she's got a new, we'll get her on shortly here. She's got a new healthy home kit, where it's a test kit.
Oh, nice.
So you can see if you've got mold and what your contaminants are. I did not realize, after I posted up this last week from her, she posted up that thing about the air fresheners.
Yeah.
About how horrible some of those air fresheners are in polluting the inside of your home. I was shocked.
Well, and then to read that and then look at the comments under the post with people saying, we have these all around our houses.
Yeah. So,
kind of a wake-up call.
It's a huge wake-up call. Sorry to you people out there selling air fresheners, but, oh man, why are you buying things to make your home less healthy?
Yeah.
So, again, that's important stuff there. But we're going to do a lot more stuff like that. You and I were talking before the show here about the garden stuff. We wanted to wait to get the remodeling done before I drug a whole bunch of people in. But this is kind of our last show before the new show.
Yep.
So we're going to have a lot of good stuff coming through. And
it's not going to sound any different.
No.
It'll still be us. Still be the good rock and music that we always have.
We're going to be having a good time with all that stuff. So stay tuned for that. But here's the thing. We're going to have a lot of good friends coming on the show. And importantly, I want to hear your comments. So if you need to get a hold of us, jump on Facebook. It's a quick, easy way to do it. Make a comment there. If you're listening to this on SoundCloud, you can make a comment there too. There's lots of different ways to get a hold of us. And if you want to send an email, just jump over to Around the House with Eric G online. Or actually, Around the House online.
Yeah.
If you do go to Around the House online, sorry, wrong place. Around the House online, there's a contact us thing. So you don't have to remember any email addresses. Go over there, fill it out, That shows up right in my inbox, and you'll always get a hold of me that way.
And we might even bring your question up in the middle of the show, just like you asked us a question. However, if you do want to ask us a question, you can either call or text us at 503-521-7072.
Dude, you got the number right.
I know. I screwed it up a couple weeks ago.
So did
Now
I,
got it
so
right.
that's okay.
But yeah, you can call or text us with a question. Eric will give you a call back. We'll record it, and we will literally put you in the show.
Yep, and I apologize if I did not get a hold of a couple people this last week. It's been crazy
It's been a busy couple weeks. So
we've been doing
we'll
a
get
lot
back
of
to it.
remodeling, so stay tuned for that, 503-521-7072. Doesn't matter. You're not going to be blowing us up, so if you're listening to this show, in Greece and it's 2 o'clock in the morning there and it's whatever time it would be here, can't do that math that quick, but long story short,
it doesn't
send the
matter.
message. You're not waking anybody up. This number goes in, and then we will call you back. It's that simple. Or if you just want to text a message, you can do that as well. So thanks everybody for that, and happy birthday that I want to share to all of everybody out there, including the former hosts of Around the House. I say we call it, man.
Yeah, it's been a good birthday show.
It's been a great birthday show. And more importantly, guys, thanks for joining us here. And one other thing, take a listen to SoundCloud for any new stuff up there if you're listening for stuff there. We're going to be all over the different formats there. But today is our big announcement. So if it's Saturday and you're listening to this, thanks for listening. But at 2 p.m. Pacific time, you'll see our new announcement coming up there. If you're listening to this during the week, doesn't matter. Go back on Facebook, which is Around the House with Eric G, and you can find us there. And any other social media stuff, I'll be posting some stuff this weekend. Instagram, Twitter, all those other little places on the interweb.
It also may be confusing for anyone who does listen to us on SoundCloud. There's going to be multiple uploads today on Saturday. So there's going to be the Best of Show with Robin Daly. That's going to get put up. It should say Best of Show in the title. And then this, what you're listening to now, is obviously new.
So we'll call this new. We'll call the Best of. And the reason why I know we have the Best of in there, I want to make sure people out driving around on the weekend that maybe just hear a little bit of that, want to hear it. So I know it's already posted up, but if you're listening around, I want to make sure it's front and center so you can find it. So we're just going to post it up as a Best of, and you can make the choice if you want to listen to it again.
Yeah, we're not forcing you.
We're not forcing you to, but thanks for listening anyway.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody, have a great rest of your weekend. We're going to see you on Saturday. Thanks for listening
to Around the House.
Around the House with Eric G is produced by, designed by Eric G LLC. All rights reserved, copyright 2019. We will be back next week. If you missed part of the show, check out the podcast and all the shows at AroundTheHouseOnline.com. Remember, measure with a micrometer, mark with chalk, and cut with an axe. Thanks for listening to Around the House.
We're all over the radio. We're hand in hand in stereo. All over the radio with you. Anywhere the wind blows. Anywhere the fire.
We have some exciting news about the Around the House podcast. Do you want to be an Around the House insider? Our premium membership gives you early access to the weekend podcast, exclusive access to our back catalog of shows, special email access to me, Eric G, with your own home improvement questions with a priority email address, plus exclusive new shows and extended content. Click down into the podcast show notes for the link to the Around the House Insider membership for less than the price of a beer at happy hour. Join me for this limited amount of exclusive members. And thanks for listening to Around the House.